First of all, thanks for coming out. It's a great turnout. So it's an exciting time of year. But I think just the anticipation of what lies ahead is just what makes this part of the season, this time of year, so exciting. I think we've got a lot to look forward to. I think we've got a really good blend of youth, of experience, of returners coming back, and also felt like we were able to address some needs we had coming into this season with a group of transfers as well. So I think we've got a really good blend of all the above, and just really looking forward to us continuing to work together to keep building. And they've just been a joy to coach every day. One thing I'll say about them is across the board, they by far have been the most focused and hardworking group that we've had in my first couple years here. I mean, I feel like we've had really good group of kids here, but just day in and day out, every single one of them has just been extremely focused, coachable, wants to get better, and just working their tail off. So that's something that I've certainly appreciated.
What do you attribute to why they're that hardworking? I know you're probably sick of the question of the end of last season, the end of the tournament championship, but what do you see as a motivating factor there?
I just think it's who they are individually as kids. I mean, that's what you try to recruit in the recruiting process. I really value a lot of those intangibles, and the landscape of the recruiting process has changed so much that it's hard to necessarily know exactly what you're getting, because timetables sometimes are so much shorter, whether it be the transfer portal or just how the landscape has changed. But I think more than anything, it's just who these kids are. It's just in them to want to be coached, to push hard every day, do a great job in the classroom. It's just how they go about everything. So I think we've had that, but just the consistency of every single kid really coming in and just really laying it on line for us every day, I think it has been elevated.
You had a couple of your bigs sitting out the scrimmage the other day. Any update on their health?
Yeah, we've been a little bit banged up in the post. I think that's probably one of the biggest question marks coming in, just because we have a completely new group with our post play. I expect us to play a lot of four guards this year, especially early on. Like I said, we've been a little bit banged up, but one for personal reasons, one for health issues. But in time, think that we'll be where we need to be. But that's why you didn't see them, and we've been operating like that for a little while now. So it wasn't like Saturday was anything new. So I think the groups and combinations that you saw on Saturday is probably pretty true to form, that we've got a lot of guards that can really contribute and help us and have a lot of versatility in a lot of different ways. And then just have been thrilled with the development of Lainey Douglas and then Sarah Lithicum in the post for us. They've been doing a great job. So just continuing to build them and continue to work on that, and then in time get some others to add to them.
You anticipate long-term injuries there?
I hope not. I hope not. No, I don't.
Milo is out as well. Just what's kind of the outlook for injuries?
Yeah, really hard to say at this point. Just kind of operating day to day. And then you look at somebody like Janila. That's pretty much, I think we're on the same timetable that I anticipated. 9 months would put us in November, and who knows from there where it goes. I think just in general, I think just focusing with each one of them just individually of a day-to-day, how do we get them where we need to be so that we can get them back and hopefully contributing this year.
You said at the beginning that you got the transfers in to address some needs. What are some of the needs that you wanted to address with these transfers?
Well, we've got a whole new group in the post. So clearly, that was a big strength for us the last 2 years, with obviously some talented post players that had opportunities and moved on. And so I think that's probably the biggest area that we had to address, and I thought we did that. I think Lainey Douglas is going to be a tremendous player for us, but you have to be realistic. She's a freshman, but there's no question that she's got the work ethic, the intangibles. She fits our system. She gets better and better as the days go. So I'm really excited about her potential and growth and future here. And then you look at Sarah Lithicum, who transfers from Mizzou and, played probably a little bit more earlier on in her career and maybe didn't have quite the opportunity that she wanted. I give her a lot of credit for coming here her last year. I mean, that's a kid that's going against the grain. Grandfather played football at Mizzou. Dad played football at Mizzou. I mean, 2 other sisters go there. I mean, the easy road for her was just to, one more year at Mizzou. And so I give her a ton of credit. I think it says a lot about her and what she wants to do in her last collegiate year with having an opportunity to hopefully come here and really make an impact, and just been really pleased what she's been able to do for us as well. So I think just collectively they're all very similar in ways in how they fit our system. Their IQ, they have a high IQ, they've got great skill set, good-sized bodies that can get up and down the floor and have some versatility for us. But it's a matter of just continuing to develop them in our system. But that was the biggest area of need that we had to, I think, really try to fill with our interior game. And then from the guard positions, really pleased with the guards that we've added. This is the first year we've had this much experience coming back at the guard position, led by Lacey Stokes. But, you look at the youth of a Cayman Beckmeyer and Kira Daniels. I mean, both those guys just being sophomores, but they're really going to impact us this year. They did last year as well. And then to add some of the transfers with a Zoe Stewart, a Kylie Bess, you've got Angel coming back. I know I'm going to miss somebody. That's why I hate to start to list them. Katie Pauley. I mean, we could go down the line. I think all of our guards are going to be able to contribute and impact us, and love our depth in those positions. Really, with the 2, 3, and the 4, and then by committee again, probably backup Lacey at the point guard position.
Since you knew you'd probably be a little more experienced at guard, did you have a message for them over summer or anything that you wanted that group to work on in particular to kind of get ready for leading this team and getting ready for the new challenge?
I think one thing I told them early on, we had 8 weeks together this summer. One of the things that I told the group collectively early on, because it's kind of the big, I don't know if it's a question coming in, but everyone wants to know how you react to how we finished last season. And no question, left a bad taste in our mouth, and I think keeps this group coming back really hungry. But I told them I'm not gonna hold over their head last year, because 8 of these kids are new. So you have a majority of the team that weren't even a part of, the season last year. So to keep bringing that end of the season and how it finished, we all know, they know. I don't really need to address it with our returners, because those kids are just innately hungry to try to, and will play with a chip on their shoulder anyways. But there's certainly things that you can take from every experience to try to build and move forward. But it certainly wasn't anything that I wanted to continue to hang over our kids' head. But it just reemphasizes how important the daily habits are, and just the little things and controlling everything you possibly can. And, our goal is to put ourselves in that position again, and hopefully it comes up with a different result.
What's that next step for Lacey?
I think I don't really like putting expectations on anybody, so I think the sky's the limit for her with what she can do, leading the team this year, individually and collectively as a group. So I think just, she's a kid that I noticed early on, she's a quick learner. And so, thinking back to last year, for example, our loss at SLU, and that was a game that she really struggled, but how she really learned and grew from that game was huge. And then you look at maybe the first time we played at Drake, just as examples, and struggled against Drake, and how to counter some of the things that we were dealing with in that game, and then how she was able to quickly learn and figure it out for the conference tournament. So the one thing I would say about Lacey is she's always been somebody that is a quick learner. She gets a little bit of that experience under her belt, and then she figures it out. And so that's what I'm really excited about for her this year. I think she's grown a ton. She'll continue to have, continue to lead us, and I think have a great year. But the experience from last year, I think, is really going to help her leading into this year. Hopefully, right off the bat. With non-conference play, we've got a challenging schedule, but then just the experience she had going through an entire conference season and then a conference tournament, I just think she'll have grown a lot from last year just in that regard. And then certainly we work a ton on all the individual skill stuff and just being more familiar in our system and we're much more organized at this point of the season than we were last year, and that's in large part due to her.
Paige Rocca last year, pretty much injured all year, nagging stuff. She looked pretty good the other day. Is she pretty healthy?
She is. She's been healthy. So I've been really pleased with Paige. I think probably what I've noticed more than anything is she's really, I think, started to find a little bit more of a niche for us and what she can do for us defensively. And so to me, that's probably been her biggest improvement. I mean, she's always been a tough, hard-nosed kid, but I think just the last couple weeks, I think she's found a way to really kind of impact us more on the defensive end of the floor, if that makes sense.
You sick of her yet? She's been around here for
forever, right? Hey, weren't all the old Lady Bear teams? The old Lady Bear teams were here forever. I just wish, I've only got one of them. Some of the other coaches had them for 5 and 6 years, so I don't have that luxury. But
she played with her assistant coach now.
Yeah.
How have you seen that relationship, and are they allowed to be friends?
It's been great. Honestly, they. Nobody knew I was bringing Abby back, and so I don't know, whatever point this summer, met in the circle and told them what I was doing, and Paige just had a look in her eye and just of shock, and just honestly, she had tears in her eyes. She said, "You're joking, right? Are you serious?" And so clearly, Abby was somebody that had really impacted Paige in her young years here. But I said. Right off the bat, I said, man, if she impacts somebody, if she's impacted Paige the way she did, imagine what she's going to do for everybody else in our circle. And so just her reaction just reconfirmed a decision I had already made. But she was thrilled. And honestly, Abby has a maturity beyond her years. You guys probably saw that when she played here. So I really kind of forget. I think she's probably, 23 years old? I forget she's 23 years old because she just has a maturity beyond her years. And, she's been great for all of our kids.
Just talking about just the roster turnover, you do also have 6 seniors, though, and 5 fifth-year seniors. And you kind of this new age of college basketball. You can have a roster where a lot of new faces, but a lot of college basketball experience, too. How beneficial is it for that team?
I think it's great. I mean, I always say there's no substitute for experience. So, you look at last year where we had no seniors, and then this year we suddenly have 6 seniors. So, I'm excited about that group. I think the thing in general I would say about the entire group is it's a really hungry group. So whether it's seniors that are in their last year, whether they've been here or they haven't, feeling like they've got an opportunity and want something to prove and kind of leave their lasting mark, but then also a group coming back who has a sting in their mouth from last year that has that bad taste. And so in general, I think it's a hungry group. But, I love having a group of experienced seniors. I think that typically will bode well for us, hopefully down the stretch.